In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Episode 2, version 2.0.
The Deuce.
The Deuce. Yeah, we're hanging out with the crew from VALT. Again, that's VALT Auto Club.
Thank you.
Robert is here, although I think he's gonna maybe slowly disappear. Or he's gonna go under the table and not come back. And don't worry about it. So we're gonna mostly be talking to Joe. We're gonna be talking to Joe mostly. Hey Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand?
Hands on table.
Yes. So what's going on? You are part of the crew with VALT Auto Club. If you were tuning in last week, you learned what VALT is and what you guys do. At least most of it. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff. You guys do a lot. You guys are multifaceted, so I'm sure there's some stuff that we didn't get to, and I will give you an opportunity to do that. But in case Tom, Dick, or Sally didn't hear last week's episode, which you should. If they didn't, what's like the 30-second elevator pitch for what you and the crew at VALT do?
Well, I mean, I guess I can even probably do it in 10 seconds. I mean, I think the VALT is essentially an automotive events and lifestyle brand that also does media.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Boom.
We just
Bang.
do a lot of things.
Boom. Knocked it out.
I had 7.5 seconds on that.
That's okay. That's fair. That's fair. There's room for improvement, but that's fine. So excellent. And so that's primarily here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Is the tentacles reaching out? Are they going further? Do you anticipate further growth? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, well, we started in Moraga, of all places. Moraga is a tiny town that no one knows. None of your viewers know where it is at all, probably.
It's in the La Marinda area. I know that.
People might not even know where La Marinda is.
Nobody does.
It's off 24, and if you don't know where 24 is, we started in Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Cleared it up.
Basically the same thing as being in Berkeley.
Yeah.
It's equidistant.
We started in San Francisco. We started in California.
If you're in Oakland or Berkeley and you go through the cold to hot tunnel, the Caldecott tunnel.
Oh my god, it really...
It is.
Did you come up with that yourself?
No.
Wow, he came up with that himself.
No, I did
My
not.
car started to overheat right when I was in Marinda.
It's like a fucking 20
you go through a tunnel and you come out the tunnel and then you are within spitting distance of Moraga, California. Mm-hmm. So that's where you are. That's where you started, kind of in the greater East Bay here in San Francisco Bay Area. And if you're not from here, I apologize for some of the localness of this particular bit. But do you have any dreams or delusions or however you feel like plausible it would be that you guys would go significantly greater than that and go Mr. Worldwide, or what are you thinking?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yes, that's another tip.
Our growth strategy, essentially, to get businessy, I guess, is to start in the Bay Area, right?
Yep.
In the greater Bay Area. I consider the Bay Area. I mean, I was born in the East Bay, so I don't really consider like Silicon Valley Bay Area, but my fiance is from the Silicon Valley, and she shits on me whenever I say that.
It's Bay Area.
Okay, so Bay Area.
Yeah.
We want to start in the Bay Area. We want to kind of start to, as Robert and other friends put it, we want to delight everyone in this area first. We want to really we want everyone to know who we
Carry
are.
that torch.
We want everyone to really thoroughly look forward to and enjoy everything we do. But we don't want to stop here. We want to go, wherever there is a diverse automotive culture.
Yeah. Not very diverse on the moon. I'm pretty sure there's like one car on the moon.
Yeah, there's just that one guy with the 4 wheels that I don't even think has a motor. It's like solar.
It's electric, I think.
It's an EV.
Yeah.
Which also
Are there not
in.
two? There's only one.
We're into
There
EVs.
might be two. You're right. There might be two.
So cool.
I mean, how sick would it be to show up in Cars and Coffee with
fucking
a
cool.
fucking moon
You'd
buggy?
win
I
the day.
remember the most embarrassing experience with my grandparents was being at an Air and Space Museum, and I looked at one of those things, and it was like the build cost of this is like $2.3 million, and I was like, a Bugatti Veyron costs more, and my grandma was like, Dad, you missed the fucking point, you idiot. Sorry, carry on.
No, that was good. That was good. I appreciate
She was so
your
disappointed.
contribution. It's like, what have I done? I take it all back. Excellent. Okay, so that's the kind of the businessy the scope. So the scope is pretty much just that, like keep developing, keep building until till you get to a point where it's like not feasible to do it, to grow anymore? Is that kind of the lazy way to state that?
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, what we really care about is making sure that our membership platform grows and grows. So you'll see us over the next few years, although we'll still have those big, awesome shows
Right.
that are public and
Right.
Golden Gate Fields, and there's other ones being planned for next year that are not going to be at Golden Gate Fields necessarily.
Right.
But as those will still happen, but what we're really focusing on is expanding that membership platform, creating events that are very highly specialized and curated,
Right.
To where you walk in, you're in a whole different culture. You walk in, you're in the Bay Area, and you step into a warehouse, and all of a sudden you're in Japan.
Are there?
Were you at that show?
Yeah,
you were
he
at
was
the you were at the K car show. Oh my God,
Of course
you
he
were one of
was.
the spotlight.
He was
cars
like
at
the
K car show. I know. I
he was the
The
epicenter.
sandbar.
It was just a knee-jerk question.
It's okay.
sorry.
It's okay. Yes, I was there, and
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, I would say I feel like Todd mostly spearheaded that and
Oh, yeah.
and drove that. He reached out to me. It was a little while before. He's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. It's going to be
Yeah.
not that far. It's going to be Alameda
That
County.
was
We're working it
Todd's
out."
dream. That was like, I don't even think he wanted it to be as crazy as it ended up being.
Right.
He was
I
like,
don't think it
"Hey
was that
guys,
crazy.
I got this low key idea." Yeah, no, it wasn't crazy, but I think he was like trying to use a space that was cool looking,
Right.
without impacting the space too much. And we were like, "Let's do it crazy."
We have a projector, and there's a DJ spinning 1960s
But yeah,
Japanese
it was all
pop
Todd.
music,
It
and
was all Todd.
yeah.
He fucking killed
Well,
it.
yeah.
We're doing another.
The
we're
teeny
doing,
tiny fire truck.
We're doing
For those not in the
a
know.
replica kind of that event in December for Italian cars at a big Italian restoration shop in Berkeley, and you should come to that
I don't
because
have anything Italian.
there will probably be.
Do you have anything Italian? You don't have anything.
No.
There's
Not
going to
even
be
a
like
seat?
a 250 LM there, probably.
Okay.
And
So that we have time to buy some like clapped out Fiat or something.
yeah, if you want to buy a $40 million Ferrari, you could do that. You
No, I don't. Want
Let's go with option one.
yeah, exactly.
don't have to bring an Italian car, but it would be cool.
Yeah, just bring yourselves.
There you go. We'll come hang out. We will do all the things. So okay, so I would say who do you I'm just kind of to spitball off of that real quick, and then I know Chad's got some stuff he wants to throw at you. Are there any people in like that's a really good example of like, hey, there's this one individual event. It's very different. You're here, like it's themed or whatever. Do you think there's anyone in the space now that is doing a really good job at that, whether it's locally or outside the local arena, that you would be like, hey, we want to emulate a little bit of what they're doing, or they do this good, but we want to do this spin on it, or is there anyone that you look at right now that is like kind of doing that to a certain extent? Like something like Radwood comes to mind, but it's kind of a different thing, and that's a big event. And they do kind of a really good job of that. But is there anything like that you're like, oh, hey, like we want to pull some elements of this, we want to pull some elements of this, we want to create this new thing that nobody's doing? Is there a lot of that? And
Yeah, I mean, so if you use the example of Redwood, what we're trying to develop for these member events, I guess,
right,
is kind of imagine. Have you ever been to, like, during Monterey Car Week, they have this, like, the Jet Center party?
I've not been to it, but I've heard the legend thereof.
Okay, so it's not, like, particularly interesting in terms
for
of...
joining us there.
Yeah, see you later.
And like that, he was gone.
Like a fart in the breeze.
That's right. Hey, we can stretch. We can stretch out.
Yeah, we can.
Hey, let me move this, and we can be a little bit less touchy feely and grabby. Just a little bit though.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying so.
Yes. So essentially, if we take the example of Radwood, what we're doing with member events particularly is kind of imagine like an after party, like a pre-party to Radwood,
Right.
making it super highly obviously 80s and themed in such a way that it's not just particularly 80s, it's 80s in a certain geographic location. So like if
Right.
we're in like San Francisco Bay Area, I was born in 96, so I have no idea what this looks like. But
Okay.
I would be pulling people to, what does a San Francisco club in 1984 look like? And I would be turning the Vault HQ
Right.
into exactly that.
Cool.
With cars, since we're a car company.
So you could be like it's Miami 1984, and there's just like a mountain of blow in the middle of the floor.
Yeah,
and
I guess, so
And
basically
that's
like
it,
that.
like literally.
But in terms of like people that we're trying to replicate, it's kind of hard to put kind of my finger on it, because what we're really trying to do, I guess, as kind of internal combustion cars
Sure.
go away.
Right.
We're really trying to make these events more like art shows. So there's this company called Morton Street Partners, which is
Okay.
in New York. And they are basically a company that buys like, one-off fancy art cars.
Cool.
And they treat them like extremely valuable assets instead
Sure.
of just moving things. I'm not necessarily trying to copy that, but what we're trying to do essentially is capture that theme and
Okay.
put it into the culture. So our big shows will always be about automotive diversity. That's how we got big.
Right.
If you go to our shows, big ones, cars are intentionally placed juxtaposed to each other completely in total opposites. Like there's
Got it.
nothing similar next to each other.
Yeah, you're not going to have just like, well, it's a Mustang only
Yeah.
event.
If there's a Mustang, and Mustangs are welcome. We want like Cayman GT4 right next to it, and then we
Yeah.
want whatever that blue, the Panhard next
Yeah.
to that. So that will always be like that. But the small shows we want to be art shows, and so like in that JDM space, Todd was a huge help with that, and he basically planned the whole thing.
Cool.
But we wanted it to feel like the way it felt.
Transported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, just like mid-December when we're doing that Italian thing,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. We haven't touched that at all. We haven't
Right.
planned that at all. It's coming up. But,
That date will come up real quick, and I suppose that's probably something with a lot of these smaller kind of, when you have some like gargantuan show and like, hey, we do this huge show and it's going to be, October of 23, like the guys that are organizing like JCCS down in Long Beach, the Japanese Classic Car Show, like it's going to be one big ass show and it's planned out. Do you find it maybe is potentially more challenging to do these kind of smaller shows because it's like, it's more niche and like they sneak up on you and it's just like
yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're planning a small show, at least this JDM one that we did with the tiny cars, it was hard because it was our first one. I
Right.
think with time they'll be easier. Just like big shows are. I mean, like if you have big shows, even like something like JCCS or like Luftical or whatever, those ultimately become easier to plan the more you have. With Golden Gate Fields, it's like textbook at this point. I'm able to get things done really fast.
sure, just repetition.
The hardest part is staging everything. So, of course, like, you have this idea, even with small car shows, big car shows, you have this idea of like what you want it to look like in your head, but then you get to the show and like there's like, you wanted these for 5 cars to get here first.
Right.
And none of them got there. They're all late.
Right.
And they're all these cars are
It's
just
like, well, we
waiting.
put them in the back, and we got to put this other thing in front of it,
Yeah.
but then this other guy showed up, and his one car broke down, but he brought this other one instead, and it's really cool,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to put it in the same spot, but it's so big, it's not going to fit there, because I was going to put the other, like,
Or the
Exactly.
car doesn't make the commute there, and
Yeah.
there's all kinds of factors.
Exactly.
it's on the side of
So
the freeway somewhere.
You really can't plan anything. I mean, like, one of the things we're really focusing on this, I don't know when this will be released, but we have a Golden Gate Field show on October 23rd.
Okay.
And one of the main things we're focusing on is where we want to stage every car very purposefully.
Okay.
That's not going to happen, obviously. I mean, there's going to be cars all over the place, probably because people are not going to come to certain times. But
Right.
Sure.
just like Radwood, I mean, like I'm good friends with Art, and he has certain ideas of how he wants to do things, and then it's completely different.
Yeah.
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 So-
It's like you probably get half of that sorts itself out, and the other half is just like a complete cluster.
Exactly.
Sweet. Chadwick, you got anything?
Yeah, I kind of want to make it personal, like we did
Uh-oh.
before.
Should I put
How
on gloves?
Yeah, yeah. No, I like the personal questions, like your personal fleet. What do you got right now?
Yeah. So I guess with a small backstory, my dad has been into BMWs for my whole life.
Okay.
Okay.
I started my car obsession in the backseat of an E39 M5.
Not
So
bad.
peeled
Not
out
bad
of
place.
Good back seat.
Yeah, he peeled out of a school parking lot. I felt it was very modified. I felt the car physically lift off the ground and start like doing crazy things. And ever since then, I've been hooked. But right now, what I have is a 1988 BMW M5.
Lovely.
So that's like the car I make sure is really nice and clean and keep it,
Right.
keep it nice.
Yes.
So I don't drive that one as much
So
as
you
I
have it
should.
chrome wrapped, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
slam down.
Yeah, it's slammed. It's on air.
It's hella flush. You took a baseball bat to the fenders and rolled them out.
Yeah, exactly. So then I have
the
a 1980 Mercedes 280 TE So that is a Mercedes station wagon, never officially imported. They all of them in America came in diesel. So 300 TD. Think of just an iconic Mercedes station wagon.
Yep. Right.
Diesel. Mine is a dual overhead cam 6-cylinder.
But you could get that in sedan and coupe.
Yeah, you can get that. Right. You can get that car and sedan. The engines, the Euro 280 has a higher compression ratio. So
do they crack heads even faster than
probably? Yeah, so 185 horsepower versus like 140. It's pretty significant.
Yeah,
it's still slow, but it gets the job done. I've just So I have that, and then my daily driver right now is the W211, so 2004 Mercedes E55 AMG.
Nice.
So that I bought, similar to Robert, I bought that on accident on Cars and Bids. I was detailing for a client and I was bidding on my phone, and I didn't think it was going to go for as much as I thought it was going to go for way more. I threw a bid up, was outbid once, said, okay, throw in $200 more. And they closed my phone and I won it. And I'm like, oh, okay, hopefully it's good. And of course it wasn't. I mean, I had spent like $5,000 on maintenance.
Was it air struts and stuff like that?
The air struts were allegedly replaced. I never got any receipts for it, but
so who knows?
They're working. But a lot of it was just like suspension components that weren't air related and oil leaks. I got all that stuff done.
Regular wear and tear. Yeah.
But now it's great. I still need some things, but cool. We'll get through that.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
We all just need a little bit of love and maintenance.
Sometimes a lot.
As we sip our maintenance.
Nice. That's a good fleet layout. Anything you're looking at in the future? Something you'd love to add to your garage, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, not specifically. I'm really looking for something JDM. I rally cars a lot. In rally, I mean like the random weekend road rallies, not dirt. But I take usually on relatively unconventional cars. My rally cars in the past have been E28s and E23s, so original 7 Series boat cars, like really not not meant for great, very comfortable.
A grand tour.
Yeah. So my most recent one was the E23, but it had a 3.9 liter stroker in it, so it went from 3.2 to 3.9.
Yeah.
Had some E34 M5 components in the internals. It was really cool, but it was totaled and it was kind of a piece of shit, and all the suspension was gone. And if you know anything about E23s, you can't find suspension parts for them, so it was a disaster. So I really want something that actually can drive on back roads.
That's actually a really good component. Of actually.
Yep. And everyone tells me I needed something JDM in my life, and so that's what I'm looking for. And whether it be 2000, like really high, it needs to be high miles because I drive the shit out of the car, so it can't be anything low miles. So
get some hyper.
I'm thinking like high mileage, super, it's like 200,000 mile S2000.
I'm for it.
People keep telling me that to get the like some sort of like Impreza or something, or not Impreza, Integra.
You could go wrong with
Those are good cars. If you find a nice GSR.
Getting harder though.
They're harder to find, and I think like the difference between like a clean, not fucked up GSR, say like a post facelift GSR, say a '99 GSR. You get a clean one, you're going to spend you might spend 12 to 15 at least.
Yeah.
For not modified, not unfucked one, but then like. If you're talking a 200,000 mile S2000, it's like not going to be that much more. Like you might spend 20.
What are we talking?
If it's a very clean one, but I feel like it would be way more car.
Are we talking about surface roads, like twisty stuff?
Yeah, if you think about like I guess some of the roads over here, like it would be like mines and Highway 130.
I'm a little familiar with mines. Shoot all my reviews there. Yeah.
I mean, like on some rallies I've been to, like there've been a few dirt options. I need something to take like abuse to the point of like it's that maybe irresponsible.
VR4.
I'd say that's what I was gonna go with. Yeah. How much space do you need?
I don't need. I mean, I guess I want the interior space to be like pleasant enough to where I'm not like hating my life.
S2000 is very good though.
Yeah,
it's very good
for that kind of thing, and just you don't have to worry about it. You get one with high mileage on. The problem with anything Honda and fun is finding one that's like hasn't been completely fucked by like 11 previous owners that all had a different idea on the proper way to modify it is. very difficult. And if you find, so they're out there. I mean, you can do it.
How about a nice Prelude? That's a good price point right now.
Prelude would be absolutely dope.
H22 is a bomb ass engine.
Yeah, Prelude would be
Yeah,
really
so I don't
good,
know
and the
anything
values aren't super high on those
Not yet.
either.
Yeah. Skip the SH. That's just extra shit to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the S is for.
Yeah,
Shit
shit
to go-
happens.
Yeah, sorry, that's it. Shit happens.
Yeah, because everyone keeps telling me Integra, but the problem is that I feel like the interior is going to be like just not a very pleasant place to be.
They're okay.
It's
They're
just
not.
a very tinny feeling.
They're not bad.
Seats
they're
are good.
okay. The
Seats
seats are
pretty good.
pretty good. I prefer those in a sedan, if I'm telling the truth. I'd like a GSR sedan.
Yeah, I like them too. Yeah.
Would be dope. Yeah. What other?
Accurate Legend. Manual.
They feel like an early
Coupe.
legend,
My dad
coupe,
was
early
manual.
legend coupe.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Those are good value. If you can find a clean one. Like,
Yeah, they're not a ton.
They'll get your money
I heard
back.
they're like they kind of eat clutches, but what do I know? I would say like a 2.5 RS, but those are just they're so overvalued for what they are.
Yeah, I have a couple clients with them, and I've done some details, in the interior, and they seem cool. I just don't know if it's like worth the money. I mean, because the really nice ones go for an insane amount of money.
Yeah. Celica All-Track, first gen MR2.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff. That Prelude is such an under.
I kind of like the Prelude play on that.
Prelude.
You won't see another one. Yeah.
Yeah, especially VTEC. There's good cars.
Good power, good torque. Nice
Good.
chassis.
If you want at least the head design to be JDM, you can go a Taurus SHO.
I was
Not in the handling
someone was
department.
trying to get me to buy one. I think
Contour
Robert
SVT.
was trying to get me to buy one. A friend of mine had one for sale. It was tan. Mike Arozzi, you know him?
It rings a bell. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
he had one. He like flips cars.
Yeah.
He had one for sale for 11 grand or something like that. And it was tempting. It was really tempting. I guess I don't know if I could get over the I don't know.
The
if I could get over it.
Taurusiness of it.
The grandpa car-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great seats though.
Yeah.
Get a
Super
Talon. Get a
DSM.
Yeah.
Ooh. If you want to, I don't know if you want to finish
You know
the
what
race.
still isn't up the value? Not to like turn this into us shopping for Joe podcast episode. But either like a Z32 300ZX, even just an NA car.
Oh, you got to go twin turbo, man.
I mean, you can, but like if you don't want to drop huge coin, the NA cars I think are decent enough performance wise.
Yeah.
And they look good.
Z31,
Still going for a good
NX2000.
NX2000, Sentra SER.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be a great one.
Yeah. Those are I feel like those are almost harder to find now than the NX.
Yeah.
They definitely, I don't know.
It's kind of hard, both of them. No one exists anymore. SR20 is good though.
Yeah, good
It's a
motor.
good power plant.
Bomb proof. And then so you said you mentioned detailing.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's something you dabble in? Is that like your 9 to 5?
Yeah,
A little bit
so,
of both.
In college, in 2017, I think I was like a sophomore or junior, I started a mobile detailing business just to do something.
Cool.
Because all my friends were getting internships and I was applying to them and I wasn't getting them. So
Okay. What were you, when you went to school for what?
I went to school for political science and then I got an MBA also.
Cool.
So
Okay.
5 years of school. I finished the MBA in 1 year.
Nice.
So I started the detailing business in 2017.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've just been doing it. And when I was first starting, it was way less, time intensive. Like I was kind of just doing it whenever
Right.
someone texted me. And then I took it full time September of last year, just
Okay.
because it was starting to pick up, and I decided I just wanted to see what would happen.
What got you into it? Was it like as simple as like I like cars, and then you got into it? Is there like a certain zen that you get out of it, like cleaning it? Do you like the before and after? Is it pays the bills? Like what got you? What kind of got you into like
Yeah, I mean,
got you going into it full time other than business picked up?
yeah, I mean, my dad in high school was a detailer. Like
Okay.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because he never really like talked about it that much. Maybe it could be genetic, but yeah. So he was a detailer in high school.
Cool.
And when I first got my car, there was nothing to do to it. It was a 2009 335 diesel.
Okay.
So
Those
I
are
couldn't-
sweet.
Yeah,
A
they're
lot of
great
torque,
cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
For 425 pounds torque out of the box.
Yeah.
It was a really good car, but I couldn't do anything to it. I couldn't modify it. Because I mean, the way to modify that car is to completely gut the exhaust system and do all this crazy shit to it. But like that,
You
was
could have
so
been rolling
intense.
coal, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
right?
have. So basically, I just cleaned it and made sure it was as clean as it could be. I was doing all these different things, and I really liked doing that.
Cool.
And then my dad told me how to like do certain things. He didn't really like he did the thing, and I watched him, and then like I wiped off the residue kind of thing.
There you go.
But yeah, it was kind of random how it happened. I just decided because all my friends were busy doing like finance internships. I was like, well,
Sure.
I might as well just do something. So I
Yeah.
started doing basic stuff, and then I got really super into I started watching YouTubes and learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm doing it full time with Vault.
Very cool.
Nice.
Is it like so you're finding a lot of you're getting stuff through Vault, like just like word of mouth stuff? Like how did you end up, when you said like, hey, I'm getting busy and I'm going to do this full time, was it because of the word of mouth stuff through Vault? Did you actively go out and like start leaving business cards at places? Were you pursuing stuff, or did it come to you?
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, I think I've gotten basically no clients from Vault. It's because I haven't really,
Right.
whenever I'm doing Vault work,
You're
I'm like
Vault-ing.
so focused on it, which is actually
Right.
horrible because I should really be advertising
You
that
should be cross-pollinating,
because each
yeah.
time I pays bills and Vault just costs money at this point so far. Maybe at some point it'll be opposite, which it probably maybe will in 2 years. But like, I started with Nextdoor, just like local community.
Sure.
And they were like, "Oh, cool, college kid. I'll let him try it." And then I gained enough confidence to basically reach out to enthusiast people,
Right.
for people who actually care about their cars. And I started
Right.
doing that, and then it became word of mouth.
Excellent.
It's still not enough to like, I can't like go and buy a house or something if I wanted, but I,
Right.
it's like profitable enough to where like I could do this full time and not like die.
And that's always good. Yeah. Like occasional like break from ramen to like eat other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Non-ramen
I'm totally
things.
fine. Like I'm like, there's not really a huge struggle. It could always be more. I need to figure out how to get to the next step because I don't really know how to advertise detailing other than
Right.
Vault.
Sure.
Which I'm starting to do, but it's still like, I don't want to step on like my other people. I don't want to use the because I didn't just it was Vault. It was Robert and I that built it. I don't want to.
Yeah. All of a sudden make it like your thing.
Yeah,
Well,
start throwing
Vault
shoving
Automotive
business
Detail.
cards.
Here I am. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're detail oriented. Like
Yeah.
yeah. This is.
I like that. Well, two things though. Treading water is way better than drowning, so you're already in a good spot there. It's a good skill set too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people f up detailing, and then some people are so casual about it, like drive through car washes and we
Exactly.
use that same rag on the dirty car, the interior, the
Yep.
the engine bay first, please.
Yeah, and actually that
I found
is-
it by my bedside. It's really stiff and crunchy.
Yeah, just
Well, time to wash my car.
I heard you
with it.
put salt in the water. It helps it.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing that like really the reason why I'm good at it is because I'm so obsessive over
You have to be.
things. Like I was watching like whoever is I don't know who he was, but I was watching that guy detail.
Yeah.
And I was like I just was like wanting to be with him and like doing it with him. It was because it was just it's such a fun experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you get
he's-
into like a flow state if you're like listening to some music or something.
Yep,
And you're kind of just going
Yeah.
for it.
So his name is Cullen. He does the detailing here. He's mobile, and he's like god tier detailer.
Yeah.
Like he does
the
stuff
final
on the
boss.
lawn at Pebble.
Oh, nice.
And has like all these awards from competitions like at Pebble and all this stuff. He's a heavy hitter. You should connect with him, and
Yeah.
you guys
great, yeah.
should have a beer over detail talk because
Yeah.
he's seen everything, he's done everything. That Pagani came in, it's like, oh, you gotta make sure when you can't have, if you have the doors open and you have the clamshell open, that you don't close the doors, because like he like knows all the ins and outs about like a Wyra, because it's like that's just the stuff that he does. And so there's some really cool stuff. Like, is there super interesting stuff that you found yourself working on in the detail world that you're like, I can't believe I'm vacuuming blood out of a whatever, something super exotic, an F40 right now, or whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
I mean,
like,
I've definitely detailed some pretty insane cars, like a lot of like McLarens, and I mean,
Sure.
like people who just like don't know what to do with money, and they're like, oh, it's just ceramic coat the car. They don't know what it is or anything. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of those, a lot of Ferrari, like there's like two of the 458 Speciales. And
Yeah.
I've done like probably all of them. I mean, I've done those two obviously, but like I've done a whole bunch of those, like the same like colorway red with the blue with stripes and stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if they're all like that, but
think they are all like
yeah.
that.
So I've done a whole bunch of those. I did this car called the Apollo.
3500 GT.
It looks like a 250 GTO.
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
the Gumpert?
It's 60. No, it was
No.
made by not Intermechanical.
It's an American car, right? With
It's an Italian body
Yeah.
with a. They did a 3300 GT and they did a 3500 GT. It's a beautiful.
I've done a lot of his cars, which were interesting. I mean, I've done a lot of like W108 280 SCs, so that's the older Mercedes with the stacked headlights.
Those are cool.
So I've done a lot of those. Those were fun. I just did one 2 days ago. You know, nothing like crazy. It's super valuable. Like I've never done like a Senna or anything like that.
Sure.
But probably around 400,000 or 500,000 is probably where I cap.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I would if someone
You're sitting
offered
there
me to
just
do it,
like
I'd do it.
like heavy polish compound on something. God, like don't burn through the paint.
Surprisingly,
don't burn the paint.
it's not. It's not like I don't know if it's a flaw of mine, but it's not. I don't get nervous about it because it's paint is paint.
Sure.
I'm sure like if it's like an older car, it's a little bit scarier because you have no idea like
How many times it's been repainted?
Yeah, I mean you
or
could
what
always
they
do
not
paint depth, but like what if it's soft or who knows? So I've definitely had moments where like I've gone I've never burned through paint, which is nice. I probably should so I can like know what it starts. My theory is when I start smelling like something's about to catch on fire.
That's
that's
probably
where I
yeah.
stop.
There you go. There you go. You got to use all the senses, all the tools, and the.
That's life in
the tool
general,
bag.
right? When you smell something about to catch on fire,
Yeah,
back
it's like-
off a little
It's like,
bit.
oh yeah,
Exactly,
this paint
yeah.
smells like chemical, and it smells like I might get cancer, so I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool. Where do you see like detail, like for when you're doing the detail stuff? Like, do you anticipate like, oh, I'm doing this is end game, like I'm gonna do this forever and build a brand? Is it like I'm gonna do this until I don't have any plans, and if I do it full time forever, great. If I don't, then whatever. If I end up doing like what's your outlook on that part of that business?
Yeah, my end game with detailing is eventually, like very soon within the next year to hire someone to do most of it.
Yeah.
Because I like Vault more. I
Yeah.
mean, like I think Vault has more value in the long term. It's more enjoyable.
Sure.
And there are certain things that I want to accomplish with Vault within the next 5 years that
You can't do
will
if you're
get me into situations that are much better than just like detailing.
yeah.
So I want to keep that going because I do enjoy it, and whenever there's an
Right.
occasional like friend that wants a car detailed only by me or something, I'll go and do it.
Cool.
Nice.
But within the next year, 2023 is where I'm going to start like poaching St. Mary's kids or something because
There
like
you go.
I have a relationship with them. So at this
That'd be
point,
cool.
So,
Yeah. Bitchin'.
Dope. I got a tough question for you though.
Boy, is it about sideshows again?
It's not this time. It isn't.
Oh man.
Just
So
probably edit that Ian part out, by the way.
yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
He might get mad at me for that.
We'll chop that out.
We'll change the name, right?
Yeah.
Make it something ambiguous. You get a choice here: one $50,000 car or 10 $5,000 cars. You get to own.
That's tough. I mean, if you asked me that like a year ago, I probably would go with 10 $5,000 cars.
Okay.
But I'm at a point where like if you don't know my dad, you might
I've
he
met him,
has like 40 cars.
Not bad.
And which is fine, and it's good because he cares for all of them and he works on all of them and they're all running and they're perfect. Well, most of them are running and they're all good.
Yeah.
But like I just see the space management, and there's 2 warehouses, and like like sometimes my cars end up there because I'm driving something else, and my fiance was asking me like, hey, where's your modern car? Because like I was driving a 93 300 ST yesterday, and I lost the vacuum and I literally had no brakes, and she's like, why could you have something modern? I'm like, I do. And she's like, where is it? And I'm like, well, actually, I don't know where it is. It's one of the warehouses, and so
One of the warehouses, and
That's
by
where-
modern, it's
yeah.
20 years old. but-
Exactly. So yeah, that's the most. So that's why
Pretty modern at my
I'm thinking
age.
$50,000 car because space management is just so much easier when there's like one car involved.
Got to do the one car solution thing then.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, the Swiss Army knife car.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It's
Good
yeah,
answer.
we've had that discussion before.
We
It's
have.
just
Yeah.
like, I think we always turn to the dark side and have
It's-
a whole bunch of jalopies.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for pain.
Exactly. Definitely. No, and it's interesting because it's like it's easy to be like, oh, I want like the 10 cars or whatever, because it's like when you're around so many cars, whether it's at a place like here, which if just like last episode, we are again recording at Car Park, and we see all these cars that are here, and then it's like you go to like the Cars and Coffee, and there's all the variety, the spice of life, and all this stuff, and so it's like I want a little bit of everything,
Sure.
and it's not always practical, but I guess that's part of the reason with places, entities like Vault, or and whatever Cars and Coffee or car shows, it's just like you can kind of get to experience that a little bit without maybe having to own 2 freaking warehouses or just be like me and street park hell of cars and like enrage the neighborhood.
I was just gonna ask, Frank, how many cars you got in your
I
fleet
don't want
right
to talk
now?
about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyone want to buy I don't know, a Boxster or a?
I feel like I'm the
or a Sienna?
responsible one now. I feel like my fleet's smaller than yours.
It's bad. It's
I only have 8.
genuinely bad.
I have 8 cars.
I think I'm at 8.
No,
Not counting a couple of motorcycles I need to sell.
I had 13 earlier this year. It's a real problem.
It's not good. But that's like with the thing with all the Vault stuff. Do you find, last episode with Robert, we talked more about like some of the bigger events and the quarterly stuff, and then you spent some time talking about the smaller stuff, like the more niche, more curated, more focused stuff. What are your thoughts on like, driving events and rallies and stuff like that? Because you mentioned that you want to get something for that, like you want to get some JDM metal to go take out. Do you guys do a lot of driving events? Do you want to do a lot more? Would you want to do multiple day stuff? Like what does that look like? Because it's kind of in vogue now, which is weird because that wasn't a thing, say 10 years ago. Like
Yeah,
there was
interestingly
almost
enough.
nothing.
Yeah.
And now there's like however many different flavors you can find them. Do you want to jump into that and do more of it? Do you want to kind of niche down what that would look like? What do you think is needed there, and how would you guys like to participate?
Yeah, I mean, we Vault does a lot of like kind of sporadic one-day rallies.
Okay.
A lot of them start either by the Golden Gate Bridge or in the South Bay, like near Half Moon Bay.
Okay.
And they go for like 100, 200 miles, something like that,
Cool.
and then you're done for the day. And they're free.
It's a solid day trip right there.
Yeah.
So, but one thing we want to do, and we're going to be doing a lot of them in 2023.
Sure.
At least 3 or 4.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And those are the multi-day stuff, multi-day rallies.
Sure.
Whether it be through the Sierras or interstate or down.
Just cruise control Highway 5, like just
Yeah,
back and
a
forth
huge
past Harris
100
Ranch.
car- yeah.
yeah, just smell it up.
So we have a lot of that in planned as well.
Very
Something
cool.
that we're kind of thinking, we have friends who do rallies a lot, and some of them are free, some of them are like $350, some of them are $700, and you start to wonder like what they're getting for the value.
Right.
And a lot of the times they're not getting anything. They're getting the route, and they're getting one evening of tacos.
I mean,
That's
tacos are good.
Yeah, but
There's
it's
good
just,
tacos
Yeah.
and bad tacos.
Yeah, but it's like a 100 person rally and everyone pitches in $500.
yeah, and so you start to wonder where that money's going, and it's just going into entities' pockets.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is I want to charge that same amount, and I want to give them a really unique experience. Like I want to be able to say, you sign up for this rally, and you automatically get a hotel room wherever
Right.
it is.
Some
And-
no-tell motel.
Yeah, not like some crappy
Stab and
hotel,
tell.
which is also a vibe and it's an experience, and like it's part of a lot of these rallies. Like
Yes.
you guys will understand soon that like one of the best parts about the rally that you've signed up for
Just drinking beers in the
is
parking
drinking
lot
beer in the
afterwards.
parking lot afterwards. It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's super cool, and you should definitely do that, even if you're tired, because you will be
Yeah.
tired, because it's
Right.
freaking draining. Do it.
Yeah.
But like one of the things we want to upclass it a little bit, make the
Okay.
$500 make it feel like it's worth money.
Sure.
And we want everything to be free for them. So you spend the money and everything is included, not free,
Right.
but everything is included.
Yeah.
And the places we're stopping are like thorough destinations.
Interesting. Yeah.
I
Not
don't
just,
remember the podcast. It's a podcast that did this, and they do this rally. I don't remember what it's called. I'll let you know in the post. But they did this thing. It's like it was an interstate rally. It was somewhere in Idaho. It was a couple months ago.
Okay.
And like it was like a whole experience of like you could stop at this watering hole, bring your bathing suit, we'll go for a swim, and like all these different things. There's
Right.
a movie at the end, which is like the film of the movie of the actual rally itself. So at the end of it, there's this big screen, and they project
Everyone to
this,
show,
this
yeah.
like this end finale movie, like something like that.
That's cool.
Is because the Vault is all about like highly curated stuff.
Right.
And so if we're going to be doing a rally that costs money, it needs to be extremely high value.
Right.
And so that's what that's a big thing I'm focusing on.
That's really cool.
We have the routes. I mean, they're amazing routes. They're already ready.
Yeah.
It's more of like finding the right experiences.
Right.
to-
The experience is the value for dollar, just making it worth everyone's
Yeah, well, that thematic approach is cool too. Like everything, like the cars that go, the route you go on, where you stop, just all that like blending together is just brilliant. Yeah.
Would you envision like limiting it to certain like types of cars or whatever, or it's like nah, bring as long as it's not a Camry, just like let's go.
I think for the rallies, we'll probably do it the way we do the large shows, which is kind of like diverse, but we don't want to let just if we open it up to everyone.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like the 718 Cayman Club all decided to get together and apply.
And
so
you can say the same with air-cooled cars. And a lot of our free rallies, like there's this guy that comes in like a 2017 Accord.
Yeah.
And he hoons it like crazy.
Is it a sport with a manual?
But no, it's a sedan.
Oh,
it's a sedan automatic.
He puts our compounds on it.
No, it's completely stock. He's a daily driver, and he just like hoons it. And then his other car is a Maverick. And he took that one also on the last rally we
like
did.
a
He
new
took
Maverick or
a
like
new
a 70s
yeah,
Maverick?
a new Maverick. And he took that car too, and he's like totally enjoying himself. So like, it'll be diverse, but like we only want like one
Ford
Accord.
Maverick. Yeah.
And then like maybe 3 air-cooled cars because it's super hard to like get air-cooled cars like
Sure.
out of. But like we kind of it's just like a show. We want it to be like 100
Diverse.
of like very diverse sections
That's cool.
of group of cars.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's interesting. Do you think that's probably the biggest room for improvement, just generally in that space, is like value for dollar, like people paying?
Yeah, it has to be value for dollar because like there were a few. So there, 5 years ago there was like 2 rallies and they were like $5,000 each, and then groups came in, and then they started these other rallies that were $700 each, and they seemed like a bang for the buck. And then 2 years ago, another group came in and they were free, but they were only one day, and there were way too many people, and there was so many cars that there were actually traffic jams on the routes.
Right.
So the obvious next step would be to not be free anymore, cost money, limit the space, but then
But you
add more
actually
value. Add more value than the group after the $5,000 rally adds. And so that's where I'm trying to like fit in somewhere.
It's the ROI for that experience, That's,
Right.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because I think, and I guess once we start, does one smoke PCP? How do anyone actually do PCP? Do we know?
I don't know. Do we need to get
Is it
critical
intravenous?
first, though?
We will. But what I was going to say was when we start doing PCP,
Sure.
whether it's smoking or injecting,
You make it sound like we don't do it all the time.
No, we do. I just never
You gotta admit
remember.
we have a problem,
I never
Frank, is what I'm
remember.
trying to say.
You know,
You always forget.
It's like I never. Yeah, I have interesting trips off PCP, but the I guess what I was trying to say was,
Get to it, son.
we've talked about doing like driving events and stuff in the past, and doing some stuff, and we may or may not be doing one relatively soon in the future, which I might talk about on the PCP portion of today's episode. However, it is really interesting to see all the different ways that these are done, and like single day rallies or half day rallies or 5-day rallies, or this is only for supercars and we're going to go 200 miles an hour in the desert, and it's just like
Cannonball.
or we're going to go we're going to do the whole cannonball thing, which I have no desire to. It's just not my type of hype, but like there's all these different ways that people are trying to like different ways to skin the cat, and it's interesting to see another angle of doing that. Like, hey, like this group is doing really good things, this other group is doing really good things, this other group is doing some other good things. We're going to poach the good stuff and make it worth your while. Can I come? I want to come.
Dude.
Yay!
We like cars.
Yay, cars!
Yeah, you'll
Our
definitely know
compounds on my
about it, that's
Maverick.
for sure. Yeah.
So no,
Hopefully
that
early 2023.
That'll be really fun.
Fingers crossed if they let me do it.
Yeah.
If Robert and Sean let me do it.
we'll corner them.
Yeah.
We'll talk them into
We
it.
have to talk.
We're going to show up with a Camry just because Frank said that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. First gen diesel Camry. Like
Okay, that's pretty
full-
manual.
Can you get those in a minute? I
don't know.
probably.
I think you can.
I don't know.
I'm sure you could, yeah.
Diesel Camry. There's like 7 of them.
I kind of want an all-track with a selectable all-wheel drive. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, get the Tercel 4x4 wagon.
Oh boy.
The inclinometer. Anyways, we are slowly slipping
Are we going to play a game?
off a cliff. Yes, we are going to play a game. And Joe, you're going to be playing with us. And so for those who let me cue it up. Will you kind of give Joe and the viewers a rundown on how this works? Joe's now a grizzled veteran. But for those,
He's endured. He's
yes,
endured one.
yes. What are we doing?
So basically, Frank's going to read us a print ad from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. These were advertisements in paper form. It's archaic, and we love that. We celebrate that. So he's going to get through it without giving away too many hints. Maybe omitting the brand, make, model. I don't know what he's going to include for us. But we have 3 guesses to get there. Well, actually, unfortunately, it's going to be you with 3 guesses. I'm going to be your lifeline if you need it. I hope Frank went easy on you. I did pitch the idea to play a little softball with you guys.
I don't know.
Obscure.
They got a first guess
Yeah,
last
that was
time. I
pretty,
don't know.
I feel like I went too easy, but we get pretty obscure. So we'll see. You have 3 guesses. If you get stuck, ask Frank for help, or you can tag me in. We'll get there. I think there's 10 minutes on the clock once he gets
That's
through
the
this
plan,
ad.
man.
So, you ready to go, Frank?
I'm ready if you're ready.
It looks like this side of the table's ready.
Oh boy. Okay. So this is a two-page ad, although
Holy
most
moly.
of it is
I already get it wrong.
is imagery.
Too much pressure.
It's you see like the rear quarter shot at like a they call it, what's that the movie with the Scientology movie, Battlefield Earth. You know, like the Battlefield Earth, where it's like,
Dude, that was
it's like low
Written by
it's
the
low-
guy that came up with Scientology. It's not a Scientology movie.
Yeah, well, same thing. But
really
it's like
popular
low down
series.
angle. Like I think
Science
it's called the
fiction.
Dutch angle, where it's like from low down, like looking up and tilted.
I like the Dutch oven, but
The Dutch up, it's very similar.
Okay, good.
This is not a Dutch vehicle. That's your only hint.
damn it.
The
I'm out,
It's not a Volvo.
the car. Okay, so it's bottom corner. It's looking up.
That's
It's a motion blur. It's obviously traveling at a high rate of speed. And then up in the left corner, it says, "Sorry, we are unable to accept Formula One vehicles in trade." Then it has some wonderful script here. Let me read it to you. Not even Formula One drivers spend all their time on banked tracks. So make the transition from speedway to freeway. We suggest the blank, a new limited production sports sedan from blank and blank, one of Europe's premier customizers. Starting with a blank, the engineers of blank bore, stroke, tune, and otherwise refine the car with a clear bias towards fun. The result? A 268 horsepower sedan with the exuberance of a true high-performance machine and a 0 to 60 clocking, parentheses, 6.4 seconds, to prove it. But since it's a blank, the blank also offers such amenities as Recaro, although they misspelt it, so I don't know if it's a knockoff of Racaro, sport seats,
No regrets.
no regrets,
Not even one
black leather upholstery, and burl walnut trim. So, if you currently own a Formula One vehicle, think of the blank as a worthy second car. After all, you do need a way to get to and from the track. For more information, call 1-800, a number that I'm not going to read. It's a little sparse.
Damn, Frank.
Do you have what are your thoughts on this? What are you thinking?
Well, it's a European car
Mm-hmm.
that started as one car and then was tuned by another car.
A limited sports sedan from blank and blank, one of Europe's
Oh, so it was a
premier
co-op.
customizers.
It's co-op.
Yes.
So, okay.
268 horsepower.
268 horsepower sedan with the exuberance of a true high-performance machine.
So, can I have? Are these both car companies? Are these like is this a car company and a tuner?
I have a feeling one is a
Car company and a tuner.
Yep.
Okay, so it could be Alpina, could be AMG, could be Lotus, and
And
well, that's
lot
a
of
car
people.
company, I think, probably so. 268 horsepower
It's a weird number.
Sedan.
sedan.
And it has rack caros.
Yeah, so it's probably an Alpina, but it could also be definitely an AMG pre-merger. I'm thinking German at this point. I'm trying to think of like 80s AMG pre-merger cars all have Recaro LSs or whatever those things are. So
Right.
So that could be a thing, but I don't think any of them have 268 horsepower except for maybe like a Hammer or something. But I think those have like 315 or something like that. So
The engineers of blank bore, stroke, tune, and otherwise refine the car with a clear bias towards fun.
So the engine itself has been overhauled.
which could be either
That's how I
AMG or-
read that.
AMG or Alpina.
Well,
My dad's had an
I'm-
Alpina.
I'm
and-
thinking of another one though.
Oh, okay. Well, there's three, obviously.
I could throw it out there because you don't have a partner in crime.
That's true.
Would Cosworth be on the table? Because they do a lot of
I
engine
suppose.
stuff. Okay.
That's not a confirm or deny what this is.
Sure,
But that would fit the bill.
They
That would fit
touched
the
on-
bill of everything that he was saying.
Yep, they touched a lot of engines.
It's not a Vega.
Damn it. I'm out.
Cosworth Vega. Final answer.
Yeah, I mean, I would see if it was Cosworth. I don't know because I don't know what the ads would be like back in the day. But like if it was like a Mercedes Cosworth or something, that was just an engine that was built by them. So that can't happen. I'm sure there were other Cosworth tuned things though that I'm not thinking of. Bored and stroked.
268 horsepower.
Yeah. So it can't be any Alpina that isn't like a E30 or something.
Right.
Because most of those cars have more
Big
than 200.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bi-turbo had a lot, but the B10 3.5 non-turbo had like about 270 horsepower. So
Right.
that can actually be similar. But I'm going to just trash Alpina.
Where we at on the clock, sir?
Currently at, we have 7 minutes left.
7 minutes. Okay.
So it was after the ad concluded. So.
To make things quick, I'm going to go,
Sure.
this is a pre-merger AMG car.
Okay.
I think, yeah, see, that's the problem. I don't know what any of these cars are called. I'm going to go 260 horsepower. No, there's no chance. There's no chance it's pre-merger AMG.
No, too much. Too
Yeah,
little.
because they're all going to be
They got a
V8s.
they swing a bigger hammer, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I doubt they'd make a print ad for the Hammer. Did they ever make one?
Maybe. Not probably just for the hammer, but probably
That's
like,
what I'm saying,
Like,
yeah.
look how performance. Look at the shit that we can do because we are these two companies. Do you have a shoot from the hip kind of guess?
I feel German for sure.
Yeah, I think it's German.
Okay.
I definitely think it's German.
I'll give you a hint because you are a loving guest. It is absolutely German.
Confirmed.
I will confirm that. Sorry.
Oh, is it like an RS2? Audi?
Ooh, that's a good
Was that your guess?
Yeah.
It is not
Oh,
the
yeah.
Audi RS.
5-cylinder, 260 horsepower,
RS2.
kind of same.
Good.
We didn't clarify that, but most of the vehicles we do were sold in the U.S. That's
Okay.
one of the
Is
things.
it sold in the U.S.?
Absolutely sold in the United States.
Oh, okay. Well,
It is not the RS2.
To be fair, he didn't know that.
can't be any hammer then.
I don't know if I would
Or
consider.
Alpina, I think.
I don't know if I would. Yeah, or Alpina, unless like just trim package shit. It's not a Z8. Yeah. So that will greatly narrow your scope.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good hint. Do you have a specific like?
Because if it's a Cosworth Mercedes, they're all 4-cylinders. There's no chance it has 260 horsepower.
Right.
Yeah.
100 less, exactly.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to think. It came. God, that would kind of give it away.
Like German cars. Porsche, Mercedes, BMW.
I would not consider. First off, I don't know if I would consider Porsche a tuner.
No,
I'd call
definitely
them an
not.
OEM. It has. So the brand and the tuner, it has on the trunk lid, it has the badge for all parties involved on the deck lid.
That's
So it has the name of the manufacturer, it has the name of the tuner, and it has the model name all on the deck lid of this sedan.
okay. So it's probably AMG. Maybe.
I was thinking of a quirky Chrysler product.
TC by Maserati?
Yes, that's
Not
the first thing when you started
268,
reading
not
the ad.
268.
No, I wish, but
I have one of those in the hopper one day.
I know you do.
C36
Is that your final answer?
or C43. C36. C36. I hope it's C36. No. Fuck,
So we
I know
make
it
the
is. I
transition
already know
from
what it is.
speedway to freeway. We suggest the C36.
That's it.
Oh, okay. I
That is
was
it.
about to say it was 500D or something, but
No,
Okay.
C36.
C36.
Let me let me find a
500E would have been the Porsche Mercedes one.
yeah.
Correct. Yes, but that's why I said I wouldn't consider Porsche a tuner. I would consider an.
I wasn't even thinking about that
I was
until the
thinking
very end.
C36. I almost threw out that I
That's-
looked at
hold
one
on, let me
not
zoom
too
in
long
here.
ago.
Let me
God,
zoom
they
in
look good.
Yeah.
If I had a manual gearbox, I'd be all up in that.
Yeah.
My
There
dad
she
is
there
still
she
looking
is.
for one of those right now. They're probably great. It's a 6-cylinder, right? It's like a
Yeah, that's what they did. So it was the C280. It was the same inline six, but bored and stroked.
That's insane.
So yeah, they go from a 2.8 to a 3.6.
They're super rare too.
Um,
There's only what 44,000 something I think
something. So
Sold in
it
the
was
US or
95, 96, and 97. And then 98, 99, 2000 or 2. Did they do the C43 in 01 too? I think they did. And then you got the generation nobody likes, the C, was it the 203? Or not the C, the W203?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
C32.
The
I have one of those.
C32.
Supercharged.
Those
yeah.
are cool. Those are cool.
I had one of those and they were really cool. I just couldn't get over. There were certain things like the cluster was horrible,
Yep.
and like just the overall the exterior was bad. But my car had 40,000 miles on it and it had the black with the Merlot interior.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
It was custom ordered and it was like pewter, so it was like
Designo,
tan.
Designo.
Yeah, it was like tan, and it had the purple inserts. So it was like
Oh,
really
man.
weird, and it was just like a really
I've seen
cool. Like the original owner only wore gloves when she drove it, so like it was perfect. So that's why I bought it.
Wow.
and it
That's
was really
cool.
nice. I had it for like a year or something.
They were pretty quick for what they were too
Yeah, it's
when they came out. Yeah.
349,
349, right?
349. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
349.
And you can put a big pulley on it or something.
Yeah,
and
you
just
can
find
get the power out of it.
60
Smaller
horsepower.
pulley, if you will.
And
Yes.
they're really reliable. I mean, they're just like the E55 engines with 2 less cylinders.
Yeah,
So,
and that M113 is bomb-proof.
yeah,
so.
just keeps going.
C36
Bitchin'.
is sweet though. That's a good. You can find those cheap too when you do
Yeah.
find them too.
Yeah, they're like
which is
6 to 10,000 for like a moderate.
And those all had that kind of bomb-proof, the 5-speed automatic out of the SL500 and SL600 they put in
Yep.
those, which or no, 4-speed. It was the 4-speed for the first couple of years. Then they put the 5-speed in it later. Like I think just the very last year. So it's like what's more? The 4-speed is more reliable, but it's not as.
Yeah, with a manual gearbox, that would have been a great rival for the E36 M3. Like,
I wonder
that
if you
would have
could do that. Like if you get
Swap
like
it.
like an SLK 230 with a manual, you could probably swap that over,
It's a
or like
little
a
less power.
Crossfire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Find a Crossfire with a manual.
Yeah,
and
you
just
could
pull the
probably
pedal
do
and
that.
Well, the
everything. out of it.
SRT6 Crossfire only came in auto, so.
You'll get caught up in the.
Crossfire. What a board game.
It was the least boring of all board games. It
Yeah,
really
you
was.
were gonna lose an eye or two.
At
It's like ball
least.
bearings flying around.
It's worth it. Well, if I was wearing a hat, I would tip it to you,
Yeah,
sir.
good job, man.
You were able to get
a lot of thought process.
navigate that.
That was good.
Navigate that.
That was tricky, though.
That was
Frank.
mildly
That was a
tricky.
little
It was.
tricky,
I don't know.
yeah.
It was.
And
It was
Fox
mildly.
body.
Exactly. But I had faith in Joe's European knowledge. So that
I'm
that
glad I
played.
got it. I would have felt bad if I didn't get that.
That was good.
Well, you get to sleep tonight, and you also get to do an amazing, incredible amount of PCP. Would you like to do some PCP, my friend?
I'm ready whenever.
Okay. I'm not doing anything too crazy. We're not going to spend too much time on it because people got to go home and such. But we are doing what I fished. I finally we're going to do a rally, Chadwick and I.
Yes.
We signed up for the DWA, the Driving While Awesome Rally, and I decided to force my own hand and signed up with the 91 Galant VR4. So I fished the turbo out of it. I
Yes.
sent it off to get rebuilt. I have not heard back yet. But when I went through, I did notice the intake hose had a whole mess of oil in it. Up to the throttle body had oil in it, but the intercooler and all that had nothing in it.
Good. That's pretty standard for turbo seal blown out.
So yeah, I don't know, but the turbo itself looked really good. I don't know, but I sent it off. We shall see. But we're gonna be doing a rally. We'll have to record from the road. We'll do a pod.
Oh, boy.
A road pod.
Yeah.
After dark. We'll
Oh,
do
it's gonna
after
be
dark.
bad.
Exactly. Late night APA podcast. Late night confidential.
Why do I feel like I'm under a Galant VR4 during this podcast working on it? I just feel like
You know what? Maybe that might
think
be
that's how it goes.
that might be what's gonna
And there will
happen.
be people there with you helping. So
Yes, it'll be great. We'll have that's how we'll actually fix all of our automotive maladies. We'll just go on rallies and shit will break.
take our shit
and then they'll-
boxes.
Exactly.
Well, the Galant's not.
So that's really the only update I've got is I finally got off my ass and fished the turbo out.
Dope.
Before we get to you, Joe, because I'm sure you're working on something, probably a 123 or something. What are you cooking with over there?
Just the Miata doing the interior. Real pain in the ass. I'd rather do a timing belt job than taking a Miata interior apart again. But the aftermarket wheel, a lot of people just slap one on there. They don't have a working horn, and the airbag light's always on. So I defeated both of those. I rigged up a wire to the harness that comes out with a little paperclip device that grounds on the back of the new steering wheel and the hub adapter. So I have a working horn,
Oh,
which is
look at
important when you're in a Miata because soccer moms will just run you over
Yeah,
if you
you
don't have a
will.
horn.
You'll get missed.
So yeah, just putting that interior back together. It's a real pain in the ass, but you know, part of the restoration process. So that's where I am. We're gonna kick it over to Jonah.
But what are you working on, sir?
yeah. So I mean, honestly, there's things that are happening with all 3 of my cars right now. So I guess we'll start with M5. So right now, what the M5 needs is the AC fan blower exploded or something. I went over like a bump and it just stopped working.
Got it.
On those cars, there's a outside air fan.
Okay.
And there's an AC fan. So
Probably due to we swapped out anyways. A lot of times it'll fail and it will either work like on the fastest speed or nothing, or it'll constantly be on.
It'll stay in one setting.
It'll just stay on one setting. So maybe it's just staying in off.
I think probably both of them are the issue then, because when it was working, the AC fan was insanely loud, like almost unbearably squeaky.
Okay.
And then occasionally, sometimes it would it would be on one and it would go full, then it would go to middle, then it would go full again, and then it would go back to one. So it's probably both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has 200,000 miles. It's probably original. So that's getting replaced. I need a clutch, so that's going to be done.
Oh, fun.
And then a rear main seal, so doing them both at once.
Yep.
And then I bought the car 2 years ago and haven't opened it up or anything. It's been running really, really well. But I was on a drive with a friend, and he was mentioning that it was poofing up a little bit of blue smoke every so often.
Okay.
So I'll probably just do a little bit. It's just it needs a valve adjustment anyway. So
Sure.
I might as well just open it up and see what's up.
Sounds like
with
a plan.
that. So there's that. On my 280 TE,
Okay.
I'm trying to get that ready for Car Week next year. I want to do a full restoration on it.
Cool.
So the car's running now. It's running really nicely now. The interior is original and it's perfect, which is really nice.
Cool.
It's really cool black cloth interior.
Oh, nice.
Like houndstooth with black and white. So that's.
Was it gray market imported in period?
Yeah. So it was gray market imported in the 80s by this guy that
Cool.
So long story short, it's a one owner car. So I bought it and I'm an owner too.
Sweet.
So that's that. So basically, it needs to get paint now. So I'm on the hunt for a painter that isn't going to cost a lot of money, because I could do my own detailing and wet sanding. So basically, I need someone to put paint and clear coat on the car, and I'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm looking for that. And then the E55. Occasionally, when you go wide open throttle, it'll misfire a little bit between 3 and 4,500 RPM. Probably coils.
Check engine light come with it?
Yeah. Sometimes
Blink, blink, blink,
it
then it goes
misfires
away.
and it's fine, and misfires and it's fine. Then you do it again and it misfires, and then everything it just misfires like crazy, misfire until you turn the car off. Turn it back on, fine.
Interesting.
Probably everyone that I've told about the symptoms say coils.
Those were coil and plug, yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna replace all of them.
Yeah.
I might actually bring that car to a shop. I have a friend who owns a shop in Moraga.
Okay.
Their auto house in Moraga, it's a German car shop, and I trust them, and I kind of want them to just be like, take it, fix it.
Yeah.
Because that car is one of those cars that I've spent so much money on that car anyway. I don't really want to throw parts at it.
Right.
Done.
I want it to just be good.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna have them deal with that.
Fun car, though.
Yeah. It's a great car.
Great
Air
engine.
suspension works. It's fantastic. I love it. It's daily,
Yeah.
good daily. But I need the work.
Bitchin'. We all need work. I know I need work. Chat with you.
We got to work on ourselves, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna go just whisper and sweet nothing to myself in the mirror when we're done. Really just kind of get my wits about me.
Okay,
Really work
yeah,
on it.
sounds good. Good game plan.
I mean, yeah.
A little weird.
It's
We'll go with it. It's pretty fucking weird.
On that note, on that bombshell, thank you for hanging out and being
Yeah,
part
thanks
of all
for
this
having
dog and pony show. I got to let you return the favor after I kind of made a mockery of myself and everything you guys do on
No,
your
I've
podcast.
edited the podcast. Your podcast is great. So, stay tuned for
Okay,
that.
against
In,
all
2
odds.
weeks, something like that.
Against all odds. So thank you. And then again, let's just hammer home. If people want to participate in the Vault stuff, see what you guys are up to, what's the best way to kind of see what's cracking?
Yeah, so if you go on our Instagram, Vault Auto Club, Vault spelled VALT, you're able to interact with us the fastest that way. You can DM us, you can ask us questions.
You can slide into your DMs.
You can sign into the DMs. I will be responding, Robert probably won't be, so I'll be the one messaging you.
There you go.
So, if you want to become a member, it's $20 a month. You're getting access to all the the artsy shows that we're talking about, the smaller ones.
Yep.
The Mario Kart tournament that's coming up. You also get, free entry into the bigger shows and yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of benefits.
Right,
Nice.
and probably some additional media stuff too, right, with the podcast. and
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of the other stuff that you're doing.
You'll be at least privy to the podcast. If you want to come on, you can, and there's no pressure. I know some people don't want to,
Let's
understand
get them.
how you
Go
can
on
even
the
talk for an
podcast,
hour.
do it.
I'm sure that's a hard thing for a lot of people. It was hard for me when I first started. Yeah, so all that stuff is included. So feel free to hit us up on there, and we would love to chat with you and work with you and have fun.
Bitchin'.
Nice, yeah.
Chadwick, where can you be found?
Auto Obsessive Garage. Check me out on the tubes for my horrible turd box restorations.
That's what we traffic in around these parts.
It's our flavor.
And I'm the Photographer's Garage on the grams and the tubes, and we are another pointless automotive podcast, both just factually and by name. So thanks for hanging out and listening to us.
Of course, thanks
and doing
as
all the
always.
things. We're gonna go get dinner.
Take
Bye.
care. Peace.